Hey, what's up? Thanks for tuning in to another video here on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate you tuning in and appreciate the support. All right, what I'm going to be looking at today is a couple of different things. I'm going to be focusing really on HDR photos, and it's going to be a really quick tutorial on how to do that here in Photoshop. It is a technique that is really coming into play a little bit more in a lot of the photos that we're seeing lately. You'll also see like a lot of different phones are starting to kind of put this feature into the phone, but in my humble opinion, like it really is really not in the phone. Like so the iPhone 5, for example, I mean it has a HDR option on there, but when you shoot a photo with it, it really doesn't change anything as far as the photo is concerned. Now this video is more so like the poor man's HDR. Basically, if you don't have a camera that's really capable of shooting HDR, Photoshop CS5 and after gives you the ability to use a feature to where there's like an HDR editor inside of the actual program. True to life HDR is much different. It's shot with bracketing. If you're familiar with HDR at all, basically what that means is you are more times than none on a tripod or on a or have the camera set on a surface that's not moving at the time when you take your picture. And what happens is the picture is taken at a bunch of different exposures. There's really not a limit in terms of the exposures. Some people stick to 3, some people stick to 7, some people stick to 11. I mean, it just depends on your personal style. And once those photos are taken at different exposures, they're basically maybe put into a photo program like Photoshop, or maybe taken into a dark room or something like that, and they're put together and edited that way to really bring out like a lot of detail in the photos, things of that sort. But in terms of Photoshop, what it does is say you don't have a camera that has the ability um, for bracketing, or you're not shooting multiple exposures, you can take one photo and kind of get a HDR-ish kind of feel out of it. So we'll show you how to do that really quickly. Here in Photoshop, I already have my picture loaded up. That's a picture I took of the Brooklyn Bridge, Hudson River, kind of pointing more towards Times Square back here in this area. A little bit of Williamsburg Bridge, as you can see here. But what we're going to do is, what you do is you go up into image, you'll come down to adjustments, and a little bit about halfway up, I'm sorry, like 3/4 ways up, you'll run into an option that says HDR toning. It's going to take you into the HDR options menu here. Now you have a lot of different already kind of preset settings here that you can kind of go through and see whatever best fits what you're looking for. There's a monochromatic, artistic, high contrast, surrealistic, photorealistic, so forth and so on. So you can either choose to kind of use this as your HDR photo, if you will, or you can take the ability to kind of mess with these sliders here and just get the photo exactly how you like it to look. One noticeable thing, of course, if you're not really using 3 separate photos and you're going through this specific program and option of using HDR toning, if you just select one of the presets here, you're going to see what's referred to as ghosting when it comes to HDR photos. What ghosting is really wherever there's light present, especially if it's directly on maybe a darker background or something like that, you'll see this bit of a halo, as you see right here coming off of the bridge. You'll see it coming around these buildings. There's like a really defined halo that comes around here. And I'll do a tutorial a little bit later on how to kind of mess with the sliders here to maybe kind of get that halo. As you can see, the halo kind of goes down there, but then you do lose a bit of the like HDR effect and things. So a lot of it when it comes to using Photoshop is really just kind of playing with the sliders for a particular shot, and seeing exactly what you want. Some photos look great, with a lot of ghosting. Other photos look a little messy with it, or it looks really obvious. Or if you try to turn it down a whole lot, then the photo just kind of looks grainy, and it's just really not a good photo. I have a preset here that I kind of go off of for my base when it comes to doing HDR in this specific without doing bracketing and things like that. And as you can see, a lot of that ghosting effect is just really kind of completely gone with the presets that I have here. But then again, I'll kind of move the sliders around where I want them to be. Maybe I don't want the picture to be as bright. Things of that sort. I like to kind of make my photos look like paintings sometimes. Maybe like it's on a canvas or something like that. So HDR is like a really good, well, this type of HDR is a really good way to kind of bring that out. You can just mess with the sliders wherever you want them to. What I do when I first started is I would just move the sliders like completely to the right or completely to the left and see what effect it had, and then kind of um, change it accordingly to what I was looking for a particular picture. So, you may want something like that, which that actually looks pretty cool right there. So then you can kind of switch back and forth between what the photo looked like before and what the photo looks like now, and just kind of switch back and forth between those two. It's a really simple thing. Go ahead and hit OK, and it'll go ahead and convert your image. So really takes a lot of processing to do this. So if you don't have maybe like like a Core i5 or 7 or 3 or something like that, if you just maybe have maybe a different type of processor, it may take a little bit of time for that to process. But as a quick overview and quick kind of run through on the HDR, but like I say, I want to do some tutorials here where I will get a little bit more in depth. But thanks for tuning in.